So we had some questions from very relevant questions, and I may have answered these before in different classes. I may not have. Uh, Very relevant questions, and everybody can benefit. So I'd open the floor to Khushbu. You want to ask those questions? Or you want me to ask those questions?
No, so this question that what is detachment is already answered. I asked you what is detachment is already answered in Vairagya. I have this question, how to get rid of power, because before Gita you have explained us that how we generate karma by attaching ourselves to it. So when we attach it, then the good and the bad karma gets generated. And when we are detached, no karma is generated. So we are as it is free. But till now, whatever I have generated, so why should I was talking to you and you said that chanting does not cut my path. So then why every part at the end mentions Sarva Papa Vidir Mukto? Like almost every part, not the Sahasranam, but many parts says that if you chant this part, sare paap khatam ho jayenge. So if paap is not getting cut, then why should I chant? What is the role of God in my karma cycle? Why chanting is not enough to cut my karma? If I have to go through, if suppose I have stolen money, money will be stolen back from me. So then why should I chant?
So it's a very basic question. And the question is, what is the role of God in my life? Why should I even consider spiritual? It's such a beautiful question, actually. Right? What is the role of God in my life? None. Let me make it very clear, this is not a transaction. God has no role to play in your life. None. Zero. So then what are we doing here? And why are we talking about Krishna and Ram and like this? Whatever number of crores of deities that we have available to us as as Hindus. What are we doing? Why are we chanting? Are we stupid? Because it's not making any difference. Like both करता ही क्यों है, उठता ही क्यों है बेचारा सुबह, पागलों की तरह से पूरा दिन पछताता रहता है अगर एक दिन की चैंटिंग नहीं हुई. Why? What's the point? I'm chanting like crazy. My life is becoming worse and worse. And my absolutely healthy child is now sick. And my money sources have shrunk. And everybody will experience this. Anybody who starts chanting. What's the role of God? Nothing. Zero. Why do we chant? Can God keep you from suffering? No. Can chanting keep you from suffering? No. Can yoga keep you from suffering? No. Nothing will keep you from suffering. The suffering that is meant for you, that is coming to you, that is predestined and also pre-programmed. Because remember, we just talked about suffering is in your head only. It's not something real, it's not outside. It's pre-programmed inside you. So suffering that is pre-programmed within you or predestined for you will definitely come your way. God has nothing to do with it. God didn't give you that programming, so he cannot undo that programming. Right? So far with me? And Manu looks so confused, but I'll answer that question. This is totally up your alley, right? This discussion is totally up your alley. You can actually parrot it out to many people after. So What is the role of God in my life? Zero. Can being with God improve my quality of life? It can, but not the way you think it can. Will it give me more money? No. Will it give me less trouble? No. Will it give me less problems? No. Will it allow me all the successes in the world? No. So I'm not answering the question yet. Have I answered the question yet? I'm not answering the question. No, it will not. I'm making it very clear to everybody that it will not. And yet, we should do it. I have not gone back on my teaching that we should do it. It is required. It is very much prescribed. That teaching still stands. So then why? Good question, why? Yes, it does. You can say that. Yeah, it does. Both says that it gives us strength. It does. So if you, my answer to Khushbu when she asked me this whole series, because she's probably frustrated with something, I'm chanting so much, and why are these problems coming to me? So there is no point of me chanting so much if these problems are going. Again, clarity up front. If you're going to think that this chanting stuff is going to keep you from having problems, no. All the problems will come. In fact, they will come many folds. Ask Sonal, ask Shalini. They'll come many folds, not one problem. Ask Monica, जितनी chanting इसने की किसी और ने नहीं की बेचारी ने. Discipline से. Problem कम अभी तक कम नहीं हुई है. 10 साल से जानती हूँ मैं उसको, 10 साल से कर रही है. When I met Shalini, the first stage of our relationship, it was very strange. Her problems compounded, and anybody else she referred to me, their problem solved. And she was so frustrated. You remember that, Shalini? किसी और ने शुरू करी, 2 बार चैंटिंग करी, उसकी सारी लाइफ की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई और मेरी बढ़ गई. You remember that? You remember those days? She must have referred some 50 people to me. All of them had a positive outcome. She's the only one constantly experiencing a negative outcome. Where are those 50 people today?
They are not on the class. I mean, they're not connected to you only now.
You are still here. So
does that go back to this idea that the only way that we can stick to the point is if things are bad? Because otherwise, I'm just making sure that's not what you're telling us.
no, I'm not saying that. Please don't take that away from this conversation. No. Or though, think about it like this. There is a functionality of everything that we have, right? There's a role that everybody plays. What does that mean?
ऊपर लिखा हुआ है, आपने पढ़ा देखा नहीं, पढ़ लीजिए.
क्या लिखा
नहीं,
हुआ?
in the message of that.
अच्छा, क्या लिखा हुआ है ऊपर? Oh, it's like an umbrella. The rain will come and shield you. Maybe just feet will get wet, but save the rest of you. So keep doing it. Not really. It's not even an umbrella. It's not an umbrella. If you think you may be experiencing it as an umbrella, but it's not an umbrella. It's not. Don't believe anything, any good karma that you do will keep you from any hardships in life. That's not its role. That's not its job. If God wants you to stop doing good karma, that will be the result. कि हर चीज की फंक्शनैलिटी होती है ना, ध्यान से सुनो. Yeah, good to put your head up. हर चीज की फंक्शनैलिटी होती है ना. अगर आपकी फंक्शनैलिटी 2 दिन में, आपकी प्रॉब्लम 2 दिन की थी, खत्म हो गई. अब वो करने की क्या जरूरत है जिससे वो 2 दिन की प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो गई? You were trying to get a job. You got a job. Now why should you chant? You were trying to get a admission in a college. You got that admission. Now why should you chant? You were trying to get married. You got married. Now why should you chant? Very few people, after the job is done, will go back to the person who helped them get that admission, help them get that job. Do you go back to those people? Function khatam ho gaya uska. Job done. और कुछ लोगों के साथ हमारी रिलेशनशिप ऐसी होती है कि कुछ ना लेना ना देना रिलेशनशिप है. There are many people we know, we have in our lives, they're not helping us in any way. They are there. We're not even blood related, but they're there. Just constant there. They don't have any role to play. So they don't become redundant after the job is done. So what is the role of puja? Like both said, it gives you strength. If you do yoga, you will still get a viral infection. No viral infection can be stopped. There's an ad, I talked about it before. There's an ad that comes for shingles. Even if you exercise, you'll get shingles. No matter what you do, you'll get shingles. You have good lifestyle, you'll get shingles. That's an ad. Same. So should you not have a good lifestyle? Does that mean that you should stop doing yoga and exercise and eating well? Because you might get shingles, even if you're doing it? So puja is like that. जो प्रॉब्लम आनी है उसको हम किसी तरह से रोक नहीं सकते. We will not be able to stop it. It will come. Two things will happen. Either it will make us very robust, so we'd be able to deal with that problem quickly and effectively. We will not suffer in that problem. Not because the problem is not there. Problem is there. But our suffering is not there because our mind is in our control. It's not an umbrella that will protect our body and just wet our feet, like Manu said. No. But even if we get wet, we'll not catch a cold. We will get wet. But हम लोग तो सावन में बाहर जाके घूमते ही हैं बारिश में, मजा ही लेते हैं उसका. So yeah, if it happens also, if the rain happens also, the timing will be such that you'd be able to deal with it. चोरी होनी है तो 1000 रुपए की चोरी होगी, तुम्हें पता भी नहीं चलेगा चोरी हो गई. You won't even come to know you lost 1000 rupees. कितनी चोरी करी मैंने अपनी मम्मी के पर्स से. 100% of the time she didn't know that she lost money. She doesn't know she lost it. She lost it. But if I was all grown up and I was taking away her house, because that was my vasana, she would know and she would suffer. Does that make sense? So what does puja do? What does sadhana do? It works in many ways. Many ways. It makes you control your mind. So you don't एक बार जो चीज हो गई वो एक ही बार में खत्म हो जाएगी. आप उसको 500 बार रिपीट नहीं करोगे. एक दिन में जो प्रॉब्लम आई वो एक ही दिन में खत्म हो जाएगी, 2 दिन में खत्म हो जाएगी. आप उसको 4 साल तक गाओगे नहीं, रोओगे नहीं. उसका रिलेटेड कर्म नहीं बनाओगे. जब प्रॉब्लम आएगी 100% प्रॉब्लम आएगी. You will be at such a level that you won't even feel it. मच्छर का काटा कहाँ पता चला? कुत्ते का काटा पता चला. और जो पति रोज मारता है और वही मच्छर रोज काटे, कितना पता चलेगा? So the way it comes to you, see, it will come to you. Nobody can take away your suffering. That suffering will be there. But what stature you are at when that suffering happens? What stage of life you are at when that suffering happens? It will be, as much as can be, will be minimized or mitigated so that it is minimum possible. When Deepa is here, when she lost her parents, we weren't here. We weren't a part of her group. When she lost her marriage, we were together. She had a lot of strength when she lost her marriage. Then she lost her grandmother. And it was still hard. We were still here, but she wasn't doing philosophy. She wasn't with her practices as much. And she just lost her brother. The experience of losing all these people, nobody can take that away. Yeah. She has to suffer. Those things will happen. Nobody can stop that from happening. No chanting, no puja, no God. No yoga, no master, no guru. कोई नहीं रोक सकता इसको. But how she is able to deal with it will be different based on her practices. And the more we have our practices, no matter what comes at us, we will be more prepared to deal with it. And because we are more prepared to deal with it, a lot of our karma will come many folds. Because we are more prepared, we can get through a lot. जब हमारे पास ज्यादा पैसे होते हैं तो अपने सारे डेट उतार देते हैं ना. उसमें थोड़ी सोचते हैं कि इसको रहने देते हैं. नहीं. It's not an answer that you want to hear, but that is the right answer. God does not keep our hardships from coming to us. Cannot. There is no relationship. But practices can build a muscle that will keep you in good stead. Shingles तो हो सकता है, मगर exercise फिर भी करनी चाहिए. Right? COVID can happen to anybody. You still need to work out. You still need to have yoga. You still need to do pranayam. You still need to do sadhana. Almost everybody probably went through a COVID infection. Yeah? Almost everybody. Sonal went through it first go. She was first line, first responder. both went through it in that horrible COVID stage, and he's gone through it 4 times. Right? Everybody went through COVID. How many people who went through COVID were not able to recover if they were doing their practices? And that's an open question for the whole lot of people who are in my fold. We were doing such extreme sadhana of Bhairav, and we were doing a lot of, I did a lot of chanting that time with everyone. We were, with the grace of God, we went through it without casualties. The whole group, it's a big group. We went through it without casualties. And I'm not saying that that keeps people alive. I still lost my brother, not to COVID. So what is going to happen will happen. But what can be averted will be averted. You will become stronger. You can deal with it. You'll not succumb to a lot of misery, a lot of suffering. Does that make sense? Yeah? Khushbu, you have more questions? तो पूजा मत करो अगर तुम्हें कुछ चाहिए तो, क्योंकि कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला. और जो मिलेगा, जिसने करी है और जिसको मिला है, वो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट चीज मिलेगी. तुम जो वर्ल्डली चीजें सोच रहे हो ना, मुझे पैसा मिलेगा, मुझे काम मिलेगा, मुझे ये भी शायद मिल जाएगा, मगर this is not the benefit of puja. This is a side benefit. The benefit of puja will become very evident when you are in hardships, when you have trouble, when you have stress, when you have poverty, when you have extreme circumstances. Yes.
I want to share an experience if you allow.
Yeah, of course. It's your forum. You're the one who started this.
So during the second phase of COVID, when it was really tough, very tough, Shalini Bhabhi knows. So in Jaipur, we had a relative. Neha, Ankit, and Ankit was hospitalized. And Bharat was the one, my husband, who took him to hospital. And he was doing daily, he used to stay in hospital every day. He was there in hospital for 1 month. Every day, Bharat used to leave in the morning, come back at night, again leave. And he was doing up and down. And finally, Bharat got infected. And by the time Bharat got infected, it was clear that there is no way that we can save Ankit. We did everything possible in our hand. And at that point of time, I was just doing my regular puja, nothing much, the 2 Navratras that used to do, and daily mandir ka seva. And Bharat got infected, I got infected. Advik had no option. He had to stay with Bharat because he was upstairs. This is more open. And at that point of time, Bharat's reports were so crazy, but still doctor said you don't need hospitalization. And everybody said, we just don't know how this man survived with this kind of report for Bharat. And when he came negative after 14 days, then also he kept on getting infections, and he was on steroid for 5 months continuous and very high dosage of steroids. And that phase, I could feel that all my temple visit to Sala Sarji, Kulod Mata, who is our Kul Devi, and all the Navratras that I've done in past 10 years of marriage, I felt that actually they have protected Bharat. And at that point of time, I just lost mom. I was in such a vulnerable state. And at that point of time, I only remembered Kulod Mat and Sala Sarji that, I don't have anybody now. I have one brother in Calcutta and one husband here. I'm not in a state to go through anymore. So you decide what you want to do with me. And these were my words, and have never shared this with anybody. And it was a miracle. Even friends who are doctors, they told us that how Bharat survived going to Ankit's hospital. He was with Ankit every day wearing PPE kit. His father got infected, his brother got infected, and I just don't know. And I wanted to tell Bharat, don't go. Actually, I wanted to tell, I was so selfish, don't go. But he was, I told him also, but he said, no, I will go. It is my duty, it is my responsibility. She has nobody here. And that phase was so, I felt that at that point of time, it was only Kulod Mata who saved us. And I still can feel, I'm getting goosebumps. So yes, God, that what you said, that God protect us, God help, it was averted. It was averted for us.
No, it was not meant to be, beta. So that's why you were being prepared for many years. So you did the bare minimum. It was not meant to be. Sometimes it cannot be averted. Sometimes it cannot be averted. So God will send you, or rather, you will be prepared for what your outcome will be. I'll say that again. God will prepare you for your outcome. जिसको जितना आउटकम मिलना है उसको उतनी साधना मिलेगी. God will prepare. And you know, you're saying that as a miracle, and many a times I've thought that my brother going was also a miracle. कि नहीं, किसी का बचना कोई मिरेकल नहीं है. कभी कभी किसी का जाना भी मिरेकल होता है. I'm sure Deepa is not here, she'd feel the same about her brother. Depends. So again, in your head, don't create these positive reinforcements कि मैंने पूजा की तो मेरा पति बच गया या भाई बच गया या बेटा बच गया. ये गलत है. पूजा से इसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है. जो भी हार्डशिप आ रही है उसके लिए अगर आपके पास स्ट्रेंथ है, उससे आप जल्दी से रिकवर कर पा रहे हैं, तो वो डेफिनेटली यू कैन एट्रीब्यूट इट टू पूजा. मेरे को जॉब मिल गया, मेरे को काम मिल गया, मेरे को पैसा मिल गया, ये पूजा से इसका कोई लेना देना नहीं. गलत एसोसिएशन है, इसको मत रखो. पूजा करने से कोई बचता नहीं, ना करने से कोई मरता नहीं. बट जो इन्फेक्शन है वो ज्यादा दिन नहीं चलेगा अगर आप ठीक से पूजा कर रहे हैं. You just have a muscle. It's developed. You can deal with it better. When you have to go, you have to go. And I would sincerely urge every single human being here on this class or listening to this recording, do not think that your positive sadhana or karma is going to keep you from hardships. It is not. कोई भगवान आके आपके रास्ते में खड़ा नहीं हो रहा है कि अब आप मरोगे नहीं क्योंकि मैं खड़ा हूं. You are not invincible. You are not immortal. You are very mortal. You have a timeline. That timeline is decided already by you. You also have very laid out paths in life. कौन सा काम मिलना है, कौन सा काम नहीं मिलना, वो भी आपका लिखा हुआ है. It's got nothing to do with पूजा. किस कहाँ से पैसे आने हैं, जाने हैं, वो भी लिखा हुआ है. Nothing to do with पूजा. You just be able to go through it without much footprint. जब पैसा आया तो आपको ईगो नहीं आया साथ में, जब पैसा गया तो आपको दुख नहीं हुआ. जब जॉब आया तो आप उसको कर पाए, ले पाए, डील कर पाए. जब जॉब गया तो भी आप उसको कर पाए, डील कर पाए. You got through it. When come death, famine, whatever, yeah, you'd be able to deal with it. That's puja. That's strength. Only that strength. Famine cannot be averted. Death cannot be averted. Hardship cannot be averted. Don't create that association. With puja. Otherwise, Monica's life should have been heaven by now. कि ना पूजा करने से जो आपका लिखा हुआ है वो चेंज नहीं हो सकता है। जो आपकी हार्डशिप्स लिखी, आप फ्रस्ट्रेट हो सकते हो, दैट्स फाइन। आई एम हैप्पी टू लिसन टू यू गेटिंग फ्रस्ट्रेटेड। उसको भी सुना मैंने, तो तुम्हें भी सुन सकती हूँ कि इतनी पूजा करने के बाद भी मुझे, मैं खुद को भी सुनती हूँ, आई लिसन टू माई सेल्फ ऑल्सो। इतनी पूजा करने के बाद मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो सकता है या क्यों हो रहा है? I listen to myself also. I can listen to you also, but puja cannot avert your circumstance or your destiny. Remember that. It only gives you strength to deal with it, attitude to deal with it, a support system to deal with it. The right
For me,
people saying the right words. Sorry?
correct. It just cushions the blow.
It
know,
just
it-
cushions it. It doesn't even cushion the blow. Some blows cannot be cushioned.
Some can't, but yeah, you're right. It's probably like you just said this one beautiful thing. It's just the attitude, the way you deal with it. You get that in your stride. It just comes organically. When you do it as a practice, as a discipline, it just happens inadvertently. That muscle gets strengthened without your even sometimes awareness. And when you are faced with that adversity and it comes into play, you realize, oh, wow, see how I sailed through it instead of sinking. So, yeah.
Yes. भगवान के दर्शन तब नहीं होते जब कोई मिरेकल होता है। भगवान के दर्शन तब होते हैं जब मिरेकल नहीं होता। And you're still okay.
And you still find exactly bang on. Because
I'm
there
glad
are,
she ratifies it, but that is the truth.
yeah, but yeah, it's actually dichotomous from what we are trying to prove here, but you so bang on. And it, yeah, that's the beauty of it. Because there are no miracles.
Miracle ये है खुशबू कि in one of my classes my cousin comes. My mother is here, but my cousin comes. They would know, no? Your cousins would know what kind of person you are. I was such a snooty, convent educated, snooty human being. And for me to be sitting here and teaching Gita or even talking about Hindi literature is, they wouldn't believe that this is the miracle. This is the miracle that can happen. Your mind grows, your ability to receive grows, your muscle, of course, in hardship grows, but so much else. Your ability to understand. आश्चर्यवत कर रहे ना हम अभी गीता में, आश्चर्यवत that you understand all this. Unbelievable. This is what grows. This is what grows, and it's unexplicable. You cannot explain it. You cannot articulate it. What grows, what happens. No, life and death doesn't change because of puja. Money changing hands does not happen because of puja. Sonal didn't sell her house because she did puja. No. But she is able to bear the loss after selling her house because of puja. To get $500,000 less from something is a big thing. She's able to do it. That's puja. To lose everything and still be okay, fine. Itne mein bhi chalega. That is puja. No, Deepa is the miracle of puja. बैंक में जाने के लिए कोई दूसरा आदमी नहीं है. So, puja is different. It builds a different muscle that is not, it cannot translate into material possessions or material things. It is not going to give you material outcomes may happen because you have changed. Any material outcome that happens because you have changed as a person. So the world looks at you differently, and therefore it's a different outcome. They may happen, absolutely may happen. You may get a job, you may get an admission because you're talking differently, right? Your attitude has shifted. Your conversation has shifted. Your choice of words has shifted. Sometimes your whole language will shift. Can happen. You're suddenly able to engage a crowd, engage a person, engage other people, and you are able to impress also. That can also happen. And of course, while you're doing it, you will also lose interest in doing it. Not coming out of a deep space of ego. So again, to recap, puja does not give you any material benefits. It does not keep you from any material hardships. It builds a muscle in you which will be able to deal with any possible outcome in a graceful manner. Without too much bitching around it. And you'll still get frustrated. Why? You'll still crib about it. Why? And that's okay. That's fine. But it doesn't do it. So don't expect that to happen. And I would still say do puja. Do not stop. You have no other out. You have no other support system because everybody will go. Only your inner strength will be there with you. When things like, push comes to shove, the only thing you can depend on is you. And to be able to be in your best possible state, you need puja. Your strongest state, you need puja. To have faith, you need puja. In faith in what? Not in God, in you. To be fearless, you need puja. You need sadhana, you need yoga. When I say puja, I just mean sadhana, something. Yeah? Does that answer your questions? Yeah? तो क्यों करना चाहिए? करना चाहिए, बस कोई reason नहीं. All right. Any other thoughts, comments? All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice week. I'll see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Krishna.